Junior is more like part of the work. There are definitely cheaper options.
Interesting. Wow, that's it seems like very. First of all, why don't you share a little bit of yourself and your company, so like the future audience might have a better understanding of where we are.
Uh, so basically, my name is Jason. I'm the managing director of DTC World Corporation Private Limited. So DTC World is an APAC creative brand merchandise company. So basically, we help marketers design and produce creative brand merchandise to deliver better sales and brand awareness. Whether is it GWP, I mean, gift with purchase, IP, license, collectible, corporate gifts, or part of sales merchandise, basically design, produce, and deliver to more than 40 countries around the world. So I think brands we work with include like L'Oreal, KFC, Foodpanda, Nestle, Unilever, Nippon Paint, etc. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So how many people do you guys have in the company right now?
If you include all the countries, I think we have 120.
Awesome. Cool. So that's it's actually a big operation around the world. So how do you know Junior in the first place?
I saw it on the media because I believe you was doing a article. Yeah, I read the article and then sort of I was interested in what actually Junior can do. So I think I reached out to you on the website actually. Yeah.
Nice. I remember the very first conversation we have. Is there any other like AI tools you guys are actively using right now?
I think like everyone, we do use all the large language models like OpenAI or Claude. So I still use them. So of course, my own opinion is it's just using for different function. Yeah. So I use
Hmm.
Claude and GPT for some of my own individual work. Junior is more like part of the workflow, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting. So I don't actually dig deeper into that. So how do you say like the role of junior in your team right now?
Um, I guess we are trying to build Junior as a coordination layer between sales and other department. So basically, I mean, for our company, basically, because we do creative brand merchandise, and being creative sometimes means a lot of work are customized shape, customized design. And basically, in product category wise, we have more than 100 different categories. And our clients are usually marketers and they have specific campaign date. So actually, when it's customized projects like R&D project, we quite a lot of discussion, try and error, handing off, and also admin work. Any error in
Mm,
between actually will cause like either cost increase or you miss your campaign timeline. So because of all
mm,
this thing, actually, there's a lot of admin work and it's a lot of work start in communication and making
mm,
sure that things go right. So I guess we are trying to build Junior in this all these parts of this coordination and communication, and also reduce the admin work for the team. So example, let's say when there's inquiry, sales can so in the past actually sales need to tidy up the inquiry into all the necessary information to hand off to
mm,
another department so they can do their work. Where is it procurement or is it design work? So what actually we are doing now is we let junior able to have the raw brief and they actually
mm,
clean up the data and have that automatically send this into other department. So
mm.
by using this method, it sort of reduced the admin work required for salesperson to actually do up the information. We are also training junior to do cost calculation. So basically, they can automate after the cost coming, they can automate the cost calculation and provide back to sales to approve and then send to client. So actually, that's actually
Mm.
where we are using junior right now.
Interesting. Wow, that's seems like a very complex workflow. Uh, I noticed that you said like you need people to approve. So right now, like where did a person need to jump in to approve junior's actions? And how do you decide which needs the junior to be do it on their own or which part needs to be approved?
Of course, we create all the skills for junior to
Mhm,
act on what to do in the different workflow. Of course, the
mhm,
human coming is because still need to be triggered by human on
mhm,
after its completion of work. Someone need to
mm,
actually approve it and trigger it. Of course, how they approve is when junior send back the file, then someone need to read the file and then activate the trigger to send out to hand over to another person and things like that. So there's still, although junior is integrated to our ERP system, so sort
Mm.
of it will verbally, back out and tell junior to then send it across into ERP, and that's where the ERP will then trigger to the next department. So it's like part of the existing workflow. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. How many people like inside the company interact with juniors workflows like frequently?
We have not scaled it to everyone yet. So honestly, I
Mm.
think currently people who have access to junior, I think it's about 10. There are 10 people that have access to
Mm.
junior. Yeah.
Mm.
So now I think it's still a initial phase where we are trying out and to see how to scale it.
Great, great, awesome. Um, for that particular workflow you just mentioned, how did you guys do that prior to junior jumps in? Like, is it a like longer process or any other tools?
In the past is admin work. I mean, human is the one that tidy up the information, then key in the necessary information, and then do up to the brief, and then send out, key into Zoho system, which is our ERP system. Then and that get activated and hand over to the other department. Of course, now junior do help to automate this process by automatically cleaning up the data and then
Mm.
do the handover to the other department. Yeah.
Can I say the main benefit is to save people's time and catch up in the campaign timeline?
Yes. That means so they can focus more on what matters rather than all the day-to-day admin work.
Exactly, exactly. That's how we use Junior internally within our team as well. Super interesting. Um, so for that, so how do you pick this workflow as you know the the default use case for Junior in your team?
We thought that this was the lowest hanging fruit, and
Mm.
it's easy to execute, and at the
Mm.
same time, it seems to be able to generate the best benefit of all the things. I
Mm.
mean, as an AI agent, I think Junior can do a lot of things. So of course, we pick this because this is the one area we find that implementation maybe not be the hardest, and yet the benefit could be higher. So we start off with this. But of course, we do believe that Junior can play a much bigger role in future, like a monitoring tower and other things like that. Yeah, but for now, I think we choose this to start off first.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, how do you think about the return on this investment? Like, does the Junior salary pays for itself for your team?
Um, to be very honest, I think now we are at the initial phase.
Mm.
So I don't think I have enough people using it to cover all the salary yet. But I believe when we
Mm.
scale it, I think the return on investment will be high. But of course, I think when we talk about return on investment, we are talking about the long term. I think long
Mm.
term, if this can be scaled to even more areas, which we believe we
Mm.
can, then I think the return on investment will definitely be exponentially better.
Nice, nice. Let's talk about a little bit on the I knew you guys headquartered in Singapore. How does AI plays a role in your industry regional wise? For your like many of our audience are from the US, some of them are from Japan. Like, how do you think of like the AI's transformation in your area?
I guess in ASEAN area, our transformation is still relatively slower compared to US or China. I
Mm.
think we are still at the stage of where trying to figure out how to adopt this into the workflow. And I
Mhm.
think research has also shown that most AI projects become white elephant, right? Because
Ah.
we are at the beginning stage of we know the technology, but we don't really know how to utilize it in a
Mm.
effective manner to bring good returns. So I guess we are at the stage of exploring now. But I
Mm.
think wherever you guys are doing, I think the benefit is because you are bringing knowledge that from the US
Mhm.
and also guiding us on how do we execute the whole thing.
Mm. Mm.
Because like it's a kick-off point, like at least we know like with like your expertise, we know actually what we can do and everything can execute rather than
Mhm.
exploring everything ourselves, which should be slower lah. So I think in business, everything is, I mean, the point of view is, it's not I cannot use Claude or let's
Mm.
say GPT to do all these functions,
Mhm.
but to scale into enterprise solution, most probably I want a partner that can speed it up for me, not only the cost, but of course in terms of speed is
Mhm.
um in business, time is the most important. I mean, there are definitely cheaper options. Everyone knows that there are similar options from the China LM models and stuff like that. But however, for me is I'm using you guys for the of course for security and also for the expertise, and so to me most important is speed. That's why ROI may not be my most biggest priority right now because of that.
Mm.
Because I think because ROI will come when we execute properly, that's for sure. What I want is a partner that can help me execute well so I can get the win as soon as possible. I think that's my point of view. Yeah.
Great, great. Yeah, that's yeah, I'm super happy to hear that. That's exactly how we shape our business right now because we realize AI is powerful itself and it's accessible for many people, but usually it's really challenging to adopt to real workflows inside their business. So that's exactly we have Shimo here for also for like also has many people in the team to try to adopt and help people to implement AI into their business. Um, like how do you think of for example, if you have to pick next workflows, what would be that in your company that you think AI can help a lot, save lots of time for you guys?
um the next one actually I always wanted is can actually AI actually play the procurement function instead of the human playing it, because um for us actually we every like I said, because actually what is not realized is for customized project, it's not a straightforward, like let's say it's an existing item, we already have the price, you already have all the specs. When item
Mhm,
come, you can just straight away, there's a database, you pick and quote, right? But for customized
mhm,
project, you can't. Every project is like a discovery stage where you go and discover and find out what's the cost, then discuss with factory to compile the specs and things like that. And I believe if I believe that AI can actually automate this process, because it's a very administrative and communication kind of role, which can be actually automated with a suitable AI agent. So I think that will be something that we hope to adopt next. Lor.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We need we have like lots of discussion on that as well. That's great. Um, So, my next question is, I mean, even in US and in China, I believe, like AI coworker, like automated AI solution, they were being adopted heavily in tech companies, like software companies, like those tech companies. While for you guys, it's a non-tech company, and I think you guys are pioneer to that, like even US, I would say. How do you see your peers or non-tech companies, non-tech people? What's the best thing for you guys to help you guys adopt AI solutions?
My honest opinion will be um, to expose all of us to what AI actually can do, because a lot of
Mm,
things start with awareness. Problem is companies, traditional companies, because we're not from tech, we do not know what is possible. And because we don't know what is possible, we don't know how to start. But the moment you start understanding the possibility and you have that awareness, then you will find a way to start. I mean, everyone is a business person. I mean, everyone is smart. Everyone is
yeah.
driven, right? The only thing
Mhm.
we are not taking action because we are not aware. So I guess it's really building more awareness to people about what can be actually done with AI, and with the awareness, then people will find a way to make it happen. I guess, yeah.
Of course, of course. Wow, it's actually inspired me on what I should do. Like in your experience, did junior as like we claim it to be an AI employee, and many people asking us like, will that cause loss of job and cause the the boss to cut people out of the job. Uh, does that happen for you guys? Or do junior change like how your team spend time out?
Currently, we don't have this problem because we are only trying to cut down the admin work so that people can actually focus what's important. And until
Mhm,
now, we haven't reached a stage where we can totally rely on AI to do, like, to make all the judgment call. At least until now, I don't see it happening yet. So there's always a human involved that need to still make that judgment call. I mean, the AI is only assist it to make it easier, but someone's been made the judgment call. So I don't foresee that. I think even data till now haven't really significantly shown that companies that adopt AI, I mean, maybe that have actually resulted in like a mass unemployment rate increasing. I think even in US, I don't think that happened yet. Like big, like employment rate is not like, with so much companies in US already adopting AI, you don't really see that unemployment rate is like shooting off the board or things like that. So I guess it's more like companies will adopt and put the people in the more efficient use, because every people is actually um a resource for a company that just put a resource in a better position. I would think that, but it's true that I personally think that the core of using AI and reducing headcount, I think it's more related to companies trying to cut headcount costs and using that as a excuse sometimes. Yeah, I see that a bit more rather than it's really because I implement AI, it's really more efficient. But of course, that's my part of my view in my side. It may be a different situation in that company. Yeah, so at least so I don't think it will really happen in a large scale
mhm,
manner. In future, I don't know.
mhm.
In the future, when AI become really so smart that you don't even need a human involved in every
Mhm.
step, will that day happen? I don't know yet. But maybe, but at least for now, the technology available now, I don't see that possible yet. Yeah.
Of course, of course. That's how we see AI right now, like as well. We want AI to, take over all the boring stuff, all the admin stuff that AI is capable of and good at, and let human do all the judgment and all the strategy work. Um, for that, I noticed you mentioned that the speed. Can you give us like tell the audience like how does the team inside junior executives help you guys accelerate that process?
Um, okay, so basically when you use AI agent, you free up your time to actually work on other things. So effectively, a task that actually need a human to do a brief could take, let's say, half an hour to tidy up and do out a brief. Now you don't need to do it because AI do it. You will need to maybe give some input, and when you ask some question, you just reply, and then so definitely you can cut easily 50 to 70% of the time needed to do this execution yourself. So I think in terms of time savings, in view of specific task wise, it's like 50 to 70% time saving.
Wow, that's okay, cool. That's a lot. Also, you mentioned that for you guys, you want a team of experts to help you understand what AI can do and cannot do, and how can it be adopted into your process. This is what we usually call, like for example, like what Shimo and Xinyan in our team are doing, like forward deployment. How do you say working with a team has that expertise while you're using like a general AI tool? What's the difference for your side?
I think people, I mean, the truth is now a lot of large language model, whether it's OpenAI or Claude, are very powerful. They can connect to tools, they can connect to a lot of things. But for enterprise, it's different. Enterprise, you need to consider a lot more things. You need to consider about workflow. You need to consider about all the people who are using it. Different people using it need to have different, let's say, security level and then access level. You need to prevent the actor. You need to consider, like, example, they may need to say different things to different people. So you need to consider a
Mm,
lot of things. Are you able to customize that using other AI model, like those large language models like Claude OpenAI? I think it's hard because I do use it a lot. It's very hard that you set open Claude and talk to 7 people or 8 people, right?
mm,
Even if you
mm,
want to, I know there's an enterprise version, you can share data and actually train them accordingly with security. But I guess compared to, but because Claude and OpenAI are still big companies, I believe they also do customized work for huge entity lah. I mean, the
yeah,
US government,
yeah.
all this, I think they do a lot of customized work as well. But
Mhm,
SMBs are not their priority. So they are most probably will, even if you have a difficulty, like you need a certain function to be done so that it can adopt to your workflow, I don't think they
mm,
will entertain us anyway. So I working with you
mm,
guys, I think the benefit is you all will help me evaluate it can it be done, and then after it can be executed into a workflow. Because ultimately it's about agent, or your the agent is to fit into the current workflow to make the process better. Yeah.
mm,
So I guess this is the extra benefit, and of course you all can advise that what is doable and what is not doable. And after that, because for us actually, we may not know the risk, or like if we do this thing, like what's the impact, or like
mm,
what's the risk and things like that. Because working with experts like you guys, you all at least based on experience, you all can tell us, is it doable? If we do that, what is the risk? Then we can adopt our workflow and things to take into consider the risk, rather than forcing the whole company workflow to cater for AI agent. But it give us the understanding well enough to see how we should adjust in a way that it makes sense under the current technology circumstance to adopt lah. Yeah, so a bit more flexible,
yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it takes, it doesn't, I mean, of course, OpenAI, any OpenAI in the software has a cloud. They have a deployment company do that too, but they only do that for like companies with 10K employees plus, for example. Cool. Let's talk about in our collaboration. I do understand initially start from yourself, right? And you gradually shifting to open to more people, giving more people access. Um, how does that process work for you guys? How does other people? What's the other people's opinion in your team?
Uh, the every new process, there will be people that adopt it very fast. There will be people who find it very hard to adopt. But I
Mm,
guess I think now I think the benefit is once you launch, you get feedback, because every no matter how much feedback you get when building that agent at time, it was never perfect. So I guess now you start to hear real feedback on like why people don't use it, how they wanted to use it. And I think, like I said, I think we're still in the very beginning phase. I think for wide adoption around the company, then we have to slowly, based on these people, the reason yes and why, then we need to incorporate. I think that's why I wonder what's that. Okay, also the pain point they actually shared with me is they wanted to communicate with junior using voice, uh, on WhatsApp,
mm,
because they can
mm,
directly forward wherever customer communicate over, and the engineer can work on it. Where then they need to open a laptop and then
mm,
type up the information. So their take was, if I need to use a computer and type out information to
mm,
tell junior, then I mean there will be certain jobs more complicated than junior, the time saving. So but if this task only take maybe for me to use a computer do it for like 10 minutes, yeah, I might
mm,
as well just take a 10 minutes. There's no point I need to spend 3 minutes or 5 minutes to brief junior. So I think I'm now trying to see whether I can cut that front part. That means cut the briefing part. Yeah, really is they can just forward it over very easily, or voice command, and don't even need to type. And I think it's device play a part, because a lot of times they are on the road, so they want a easier way they can
mm,
quickly communicate. I
mm.
guess, yeah. That's why I say the voice command was important to me. That's why I spoke to you all.
Yeah, that's so great to hear. Yeah, we after feeling receiving your feedback, it's also why we spend lots of time on that particular feature recently. As you may know, we released I mean, again, thanks for being the early adopter for Junior. As you may know, we released our final 1.0 version early last month, and you guys also be one of the few companies trying that initially. What's this migration experience for you, and how do you compare the different versions right now?
I think migration is still smooth. I mean, there had been certain skills that I think during that migration got
Mm,
lost, but we were able to recover it. because I believe because there was actually communication lock. So I guess the skill is able to recover. But in general, it's still smooth. Between both the upgraded junior, I guess one of the thing that uh I think is good is because previously the junior will sometimes reply in thread, sometimes reply in the main channel. So
Mm,
it's
mm,
a bit confusing. I mean the logic I think is because when you all put long communication, you put in thread. If you short reply, then you put in the channel. So it's a bit confusing. But now I think it's always reply in thread, which I think is a bit neater. And we can concurrently do multiple tasks together. So I think that's neat. In terms of response, which I like also is in the past you don't know actually Morgan know or not. It's acting on the task.
mm,
But now at least
mm.
there's a reaction that allow you to know that actually they saw the task, but they're just working on it because in the past you don't know whether they receive a message and you prompt a few times. So I guess that is good. Uh, response wise is also slightly faster. I noticed. Yeah. So I think all in all, I think it's still a good upgrade lah. Yeah.
Thank you for the feedback. Regarding integrations, like, is there any missing? I mean, I knew about WhatsApp. Is there any other integration I'm missing from your side? Anything you think particularly should be included in the new version?
Um, I think I'm still exploring yet because I'm just focusing on the current workflow first. So I think for the current workflow, they already have all the necessary tools. I think
Mm,
the only thing
mm,
that I mentioned is I want a different security level, but you all say it's doable. So I asking
mm,
my colleague to test on it. But other than that, I think it's actually okay. So
mm,
uh so basically each agent will have their own email address and also different security. Yeah, I think if
mm.
that can be done, that access to different integration, if that can be done, I think it's actually good for us. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. I'd like to dig a little bit deeper into that. I knew, like, as you mentioned, personal AI usage is totally different from what's inside the enterprise version. Like, what do you care most about security and access control and everything in your mind?
Um, Number one is in terms of sensitive information. So So I give you an example, like let's say there's the same agent is actually being utilized by actually 20 salesperson, but a lot of information by different salesperson that are sensitive because of a project is not supposed to be shared across all the salesperson. So this sales agent need to be able to differentiate person one, person two, person three. I think the initial design of Morgan was designed where there's actually a file to let it understand who is the user and they act according to that. But when there's a multi-user, I think even ChatGPT LLM models have that. Right? Multi-user at time, then they need to differentiate between different users and what security level they need to let information they need to access. Because the last thing you want is you have a bad actor that actually go in and tell them that please give
Mm,
me all the sensitive information, and they take the information and go off and leave the company. Or even you have a bad actor that go in and say, because it's integrated to my ERP, which is very sensitive, because all my sensitive information are there. All the company day to day is actually happening there. We cannot afford a bad actor that go in and say, please delete all my information, and then we
mm,
cannot recover, and that will be catastrophic for the company. So that's why it's important for us. To be honest with you, just I know it's an open thing, but I just share. I actually try to use open AI, this ChatGPT to create agent, and then give certain access to give my colleagues to use. And I've been trying to prompt the instruction and telling that they're not supposed to cross-share the information with everything. But no matter how I use the AI to help me teach that instruction, but they can't because we can create the AI agent after everyone can actually talk to the AI agent. So I train one to that, but they can't. No matter how I change the instruction, you will leak out the sensitive information. No matter how I change the
um,
price, I put even on the top front first line, they still leak out the sensitive information. Yeah, then I stop using it to as a enterprise option. So actually that
mm,
was one of the experience why I wanted enterprise solution as well. But I realize I
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where, like, our expertise can jump in to help. I think I knew why it happens. Yeah, sometimes you need some harness on top of the agent to prevent that. Great, great, great.
But I think my another next feedback, I'm not sure is a good feedback or not, but I also want to know, right? Because I know everything is based on token cost, and I'm not sure is that efficient way that we can set certain tasks to use what LLM model. Yeah. That means we have
Mm,
there's a that LLM model. But I know you all internally have do something like that because you all mentioned before
mm,
for image you all use
mm,
ChatGPT and not Claude. Although we know that the general language model is Claude, but uh I believe different function do not need to use Claude. Lah. Yeah.
mm. Nice,
So I don't know
nice.
where I don't know whether is this something that you all need to ban, but I think it's not that important because token cost
Mm,
is one thing, but I think really creating value out of it, then token cost can be is a smaller problem to solve. Yeah, I assume.
mm.
Yeah.
Interesting,
But
interesting.
it's
Yeah.
an easier problem to solve, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. Okay, maybe. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I would a little bit
Yes.
say that follow up on that. Yeah, we do a lot of efforts to reduce token costs for both our customers and ourselves. Like for you guys, like how much if you mind sharing, like what percentage or how much budget you guys spend on AI tokens or AI in general in your company?
Um all I can say is we don't spend a lot on that now because it's all most of
Mm,
the AI we use are all the LM model subscription. So
mm,
um my guys do you have that. That means we do provide them that to assist
mm.
them on the day-to-day work. I mean, not the most expensive. Most
Mm,
expensive, only a few of us have it because we use a bit more. Other than that,
mm,
most of us just use the basic one.
mm, mm,
Um, yeah, so I don't think we really spend a lot. But I can say that if based on, I think it's everything about value. If
mm,
I think what you say about Morgan as a pay is actually what enterprise is looking for. I mean, ultimately, if you know, it's like human resource, right? Paying 2,000 for a human resource, the value you can create, you can give me back
mm,
20,000 in value, then it's a win. So
mhm,
to us, it's not about token cost. To us, it's
mm,
always about I pay this amount, the value I get back is what I think that's more important for us. So to me, one day you tell me I may paying 10,000 for token cost, but if it really give me 100,000 value, then the 10,000 does not matter to me. Yeah, I think that's my point of view. Lah. Yeah.
makes sense, definitely. Cool. Cool, Jason. I appreciate a lot of your time, and we'll
Mm.
get back to work on all the requests and feedback just give it. Cool. I think that's all for today, and thank you so much.